Welcome back. Now, despite repeated calls from the government and retail bosses to stop, many people are continuing to panic buy, which is clearing the supermarket shelves. And several supermarkets have now, in fact, announced that they'll be employing thousands of extra workers to try and cope with the run on the shops. Aldi, for example, plan on hiring an extra 9,000 temporary workers, Asda 5,000, and Lidl an extra 2,500. And let's talk to retail analyst Kate Hardcastle, as well as Emily Daly, owner of Kitch Cafe in Canterbury, about food access and indeed what's happening with the supermarkets. Kate Hardcastle first. Hello, Kate. Why is this message not filtering through to the public about, listen, don't panic, there's no shortage of food, we do not need to stockpile?
When we say we're all in this together, that's absolutely the truth. And there's responsibility certainly to the supermarkets and government to put out very strong, very clear messages. It's also down to us as the community and the buyers to act as responsibly as we can. The reason it's happening is psychological, it's the emotional, and it's the way that somebody who feels completely out of control of a situation is doing something and feels that they're protecting their family and trying to get as much in terms of stock for the family to feel comfortable for the foreseeable future should they have to isolate. The fact of the matter is, a lot of the time that consumption is beyond normal levels, and supermarkets who have got a commitment to feed the nation are struggling to keep up with demand. Add into that social media and the constant sharing of images of barren shelves, and we get a dilemma where it perpetuates, it feeds into those anxieties. So there's a number of steps that need to happen. Firstly, the supermarkets will be on a tiered plan to try and make change and evolve to the current circumstances. That involved quantity reduction, which we've seen in all supermarkets, the amount you can buy per item. You will start to now see brand reduction in terms of the volume of different types of products as they focus on essential products. And then you'll be looking at very different types of tactics as they push people towards more click and collect options and possibly created packages for you and your family that contain essentials and not giving you the wealth of choice. I've been monitoring the online sites for weeks now as well, and online deliveries have pushed out for weeks. And we really do have to be responsible there to try and let those most in need use that service, while those of us who can perhaps could look at those click and collect. My most favourite option is we have independent businesses in communities who are going to struggle over the next few weeks and months. They are looking to use all types of options for takeaway and delivery. They could be a very strong service to you, and you could be helping keep money in your local community.
Yeah,
so there is options. There's enough out there.
Yeah, Kate, as you mentioned that, let's bring in Emily Daly, the owner of Kitch Cafe, because Emily, you are one of those people that Kate's talking about, a local shop with plenty to go around, aren't you? I can't see you, but I'm hoping you can hear me, Emily.
Yes, hello there. Well, yes, I should have plenty to go around, but I've actually, I'm now struggling to get supplies because we've got members of the public using our wholesalers, which is absolutely shocking. Yeah. I'm putting together a delivery service from Monday next week, but there's already a couple of items I can't supply because there was nothing left when I went to get them. So that's absolutely crazy. So now the members of the public that are stockpiling are now affecting us businesses that are trying to do absolutely everything we can to adapt and change in this impossible situation that we're in.
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting, Emily. I hadn't thought about the fact that not only does it impact on other people trying to shop, but that has a direct impact on your supply chain, people panic buying, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I've been to the wholesalers twice this week and not been able to get anything that I needed.
Kate, coming back to you, your advice, maybe to Emily and for people who would like to support Emily as a small business.
Well, I'd like to massively thank Emily and all of the small independent businesses out there being incredibly brave when they've all got their own financial worries, and we still haven't got all the clarity for the government in terms of what packages could look like for some of the smaller micro businesses and self-employed yet. She's changing her ways to try and feed the nation. We really appreciate that, and I would like her local community to support her. Emily, please don't worry if your menu isn't as diverse and rich as possible. People will be appreciative of what you can provide, and I'm sure will really accept that you're bringing something different to them as well. I think we've all got to realise, as I said from the start, when we say we're all in it together, we truly are. If you've been someone who's been guilty, even because you feel you've been trying to share information, of sharing those shelves, just try and take an image. I'm not saying say where the store is or identify the store so it gets ransacked, but show a full shelf instead. Show a positive image. Share the menu of a local business that might be doing a takeout. We can do so much more. And if you try and understand the psychology of why you're feeling that way, you might stop that. Or we really are going to see very changed measures. You know, we will have literally one at a time in supermarkets. It will be very military, it will be very regimented, because that's the only thing they will be able to do in the future to control this and calm it down. Everybody needs to eat, and we have very vulnerable people in our society who need it the most.
Yeah, Emily, your local community, how have they reacted to your situation?
Well, basically, as I'm sure I'm speaking for every cafe, restaurant, and hospitality business on the high street right now, as people were told to social distance and avoid going to these places, our sales have literally just fallen off the cliff. There is nobody even in the high street. We're still open. We've scaled back to skeleton staff, and we're following all of the government advice. And I'm just trying to basically just stay open as long as we can and keep my staff in a job. You know, we have the measures are being put in place, and I believe that's what they're offering is great. We still need more help. We need to keep our staff in a job, but also the local community does need to support us where we're trying to adapt and do delivery services. But I'm also feeling that people have stockpiled so much food that are they even needing to use us for their deliveries? You know, we're on Deliveroo anyway, and even our sales with Deliveroo have completely dropped off this week. So that is actually the reality, is that people they're not actually supporting us as much as they want to. They're not. So we're in a bit of an impossible situation, to be honest.
Yeah, Emily, can I just ask you, you know, we heard a budget announcement from the government last week. We're going to hear something this afternoon. What would really help you from the government?
We need liabilities to be put to one side, because that's an impossible thing to deal with right now. And we need help with keeping our staff employed. We need staff wages covered. That's because we have got no money coming in, and we're still trying to stay open. And the other thing is, if we are going to be told if we're going to tell people to stay away, we must be told to officially close, because at the moment I'm just trying to stay open so that if we do get told to close, then I am then eligible for everything.
That's insurance, Emily. That's insurance, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So that's my take on it at the moment. I'm just taking each day as it comes, and waiting for this extra help from the government. And the most important thing is being able to prop the business up during this time, so that when it is over, because it will be over, and people still need jobs, and our businesses, you know, I've had this business for 6.5 years, and it's taken huge amounts of work, you know, and we're now we can't just lose everything, and people will still need jobs when this is over. And when people are just laying people off and closing the doors, I don't believe, you know, I understand why people are doing it, but that's also not really the right thing either, because, you know, we can't have everybody out of work, because when we reopen, we actually will need our staff as well.
Sorry to cut you off there. We've got about a minute left. I just want to ask you, Kate, finally, with everything that Emily has said there, do you have hope that with everything we've seen, panic buying, people stopping going out, that we will eventually maybe move past that and people will be comfortable ordering, if the method has changed, ordering for delivery, the shelves will not be stripped bare? Are we going to reach that point, do you think, where it might have a semblance of normality?
We will find a new norm, and we're only a few days into this change. The schools, as we know, are generally closing to most as of this week, and people will have to settle into that routine. What I would say is we do need from our leaders, for instance, supermarkets, collaborate with your communities, work with your local independents like Emily, give them a lifeline, signpost to them as well as looking after you and your own stores and doing the incredible hard work that you're doing in terms of stock. Okay. People in the community think of others, try and support everyone. We do have a tipping point in this country. We've got people who are doing the most wonderful things, people who are really behaving in a way that they're trying to be very protective. Okay. Try and help people along that curve by sharing better messages, more positive messages to get people out of this mindset that everything is chronically bad.
Okay, Kate Hardcastle, Emily Daly, Kitch Cafe in Canterbury. Thank you so much for your time. Back with more next.